Guess what it is? It's another day in the shed.
Welcome back to another episode of Birdo's Ultimate GQ Ute build from the ground up. He's bought the cheapest, shittiest patrol he could find and is going to throw everything at it so it's ready to tour Australia and tackle the toughest tracks this country has to offer. This episode is an exciting one. Birdo is building a tray. Proudly supported by Opus, Ultimate 9, Superior Engineering, GME, Tie Gear, and in part by...
So, day 677 in the shed. Back on the ute build, obviously, and we're gonna make a tray today. We're gonna start making a tray today. By we, I mean me, and I'm waiting for Todd to come. I'm also waiting for a metal delivery. So, while I wait for that, let's have a look at the tray mounts that I've gotten from Matt Kinsella. Alright, as you can see, these here are a nice fabricated, heavy duty, but also lightweight, easy way to mount your tray, which I've bought off Matt from Kinsella Customs. So these are the PSR weld-ons that I did at the start of the year to the chassis, and then this bit here, you buy these off Matt, they bolt straight on, and then you get your 50x50 or 50x75 RHS. I'm going to opt for a 3mm thickness wall, so it's got a fair bit of strength for all the off-road and banging on trees and everything that I'm going to be doing. But yeah, you start off by putting a length of that, front to back, and then you make your whole tray, the rectangle, whatever shape you want to make it, on top of that once they're welded in.
This was Birdo's first time building a tray, so he called in Todd to help get the process started, as Todd's done it a few times before. Birdo must have got a bit excited to start and forgot to tell us what's going on, so I guess I'm up. Step number 1 was clean up the chassis to mount the headboard fish plates that Birdo had previously made. Once the chassis was cleaned, the plates were welded on. From there, the boys can begin the headboard itself. There wasn't any set measurements or plan, just a visual idea Birdo wanted to achieve. It's a slow process of bending, measuring and holding up against the car to start creating the shape. The main goal was to follow the body lines of the vehicle. Birdo did not want the headboard hanging out.
Don't stand in front of the camera.
I got it, mate. Like,
don't stand in front of the camera. Alright, so we got one half nearly done on the main pipe that we're actually using, not the practice one. I sort of half some shit up, but it's alright because we're making it happen. We roll the car forward, we're using the hoist for a prop. Todd's going to cut that right there. He's my little slave today. He's doing all the hard work. Wow, wow.
does it look like got a gun, Miles? What?
Wow, isn't that beautiful? As you can see, it pretty much follows all the body lines, so that's pretty good.
With the first side done, the driver's side, it's just a process of replicating it on the second side, the passenger side, to try keep it all symmetrical.
Dang, you got him on a good plane too.
No, I fly shit. I know.
I was going to tell you when you're going home.
Oh, see you later.
We made one. Todd's got to go home. Apparently he's got kids and a family that love him, so he's got to do stuff like that. I don't, so I'm going to sit here and be depressed now. With Todd gone, it's going to be too hard to bend the second one up by myself. You see how big and awkward they are by the time you hold them up, put them in the bender. It's 4.5 metres of pipe. I'm not going to tack that one on the car. I'm going to leave that to the side just so I can remake the other one off the car with that as a template. I've already got all the bends marked down, written what they are, so I should be able to duplicate it. All I'm going to do with the back one is make it like half the thickness of the tube, each side wider, so it's sort of got a staggered stance, which will help me push the tray out slightly wider, but also sort of keep it looking clean and sleek. And I'll end up trying to take the weight of it. Yep, should be able to go.
Hope you guys are enjoying the episode. Just wanted to quickly interrupt for a minute and show you the EcoFlow Wave 3 portable air conditioning unit. The Wave 3 offers exceptional cooling and heating with a temperature range of 16 to 30 degrees Celsius. If you're into luxurious camping, then this thing is a game changer. Too hot? Problem solved. Too cold? Problem solved. The unit provides rapid temperature change. In just 15 minutes, you can drop the temperature by 8 degrees or increase it by 9 degrees. Insulated exhaust ducts make it easy to use in any scenario. Wireless and portable, it supports 8 hours of continuous wireless use. So you can either run it on mains power or you can get the battery pack that it sits on, and then that will run it without having to be connected to anything. It's a hot day today and it is incredibly cool in this swag. That's so nice. What do you reckon? We start taking this on all our summer trips?
Surely. Surely. I'll just stay in here the whole time. You're on keep watch.
You can control the Wave 3 via the app on your phone. We've been working with EcoFloat for a while now and all their products have been great. If you are after one of these units for your home, shed or camping adventures, I'll pop a link in the video description.
Alright, we're back. It's Monday. We've had the weekend. No more playing cards with Todd. He's at work. So I've called up my old man. He's on his way over. He's going to help me do the second hoop. So my old man's rocked up. We're going to start bending some pipe. I've just shown him how to do 2 bends so that he's got a rough idea of what we're doing. He probably knows more than me, but he's not saying much. So.
Berto and his dad got to work making the second headboard hoop. The idea of having 2 hoops mostly just comes down to looks, personal preference. In this case of having the 2, the first one was going to cover the bubble and the second one was going to be where Berto would make cross braces that provide the strength.
The old boy's ducked out to get some lunch. I'm still going to need a little bit of help off him just to get this all symmetrical and whatever, but I think the easiest way to do this is line it up with the roof, make sure the 2 roof bars are the same, and then I need to notch a couple of pieces of 40 MB. So I can sit in between them, tack them. Bing bong, bing bong. This is what I've got. Got a couple of notched out sections. I'm gonna put one up here, and I'm also gonna put one here. That's the idea of it. Now that I've got that all on, mounted up, tacked up, I will knock off. I've still got to pack up, but you don't need to watch me do that. What are you doing, mate? You're watching me, mate. You're making it awkward. So, guess what it is? It's another day in the shed. We're going to start off today. We're going to finish making this tray. We're not going to finish it today, but we're going to hook into this tray. And I'm going to start with making these 2 beams that run straight front to back on the car, which is my base for my actual frame for my tray. All right, so I've marked out 1800. 1800 is probably what I'm going to use to make this base. Nice straight line, boom, boom. Now we're going to cut it with my noisy saw since Tyler still hasn't given me a bandsaw. Section 1 made. Section 2, 1800. Now that I've marked 1800, put this square on, put the texture on, straight across like that. So now I've cut this, there's sharp edges. We're going to clean all that up. I've just got the grinder with the fibre sanding disc on it. I've got all of these loose. I'm going to get them lined up and I'm going to sit this pipe up on top. So I've got that roughly sitting there. I've left it short on the driver's side. I'll give you a look. As you can see, I've left it short here. And the reason I've done that is so that I can have a pipe come across or cross sections to give this some strength. I don't want to have this all the way up here, and then I wouldn't have any room to come across. So that's my idea behind that. I've just got to do a few checks now. I've got these just sitting up here, nothing's tacked yet. These Kinsella mounts actually suit a factory tray mount kit, not this PSR one. So the PSR ones are all equal heights pretty much, and there's 4 and 4, and there's about 10 mil difference. Because I think in factory, the front ones are lower or higher than the rear, so he makes them to accommodate that. So there's a couple of these where there's a little gap under it. I might just have to make a little packer. That's nothing too crazy, as long as these are sitting pretty level and the same height. Got the spirit level on it. You gotta think the car is exactly level. I know it's slightly kicked like this. It's lower on this rear corner. So I need to take this into account. The easiest way I found this, I've got my inclinometer, put it on the back of the car. It's 1/2 degree this way. So I'll check that here. You know, that one's 0.7, so it's slightly more on that. And that's 0.4, so that's pretty close to being level with what the actual car is, so I'm happy with the heights. I've had to make a couple of 10 mil spacers that go under that tube to level it up, because those ones are the 10 mil shorter. And then I've just put that pipe across. That's not going to be the bit I'm using, that's just a bit of leftover. So I wanted to line it up with the body lines. So the body lines I wanted to line up with, I'll give you a look so you can understand what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure this gives you a pretty good look of it. This is the body line. You want to have your tray either on or sort of under. You don't want to go too much higher, because then your tray is massive and you've got no room for your headboard or anything. So this is the line that I'm going off. comes about top quarter of this pipe. I can get the welder out now and I can start tacking this all to these tray mounts. Next step, take some of this 50x50. I've got rough measurements. I want it 1850 wide and I want an overall length of 2 meters, but I want the back end to have a slight bob on it. I don't want it to be like fully square. I want it to be like mostly square and then the edges kick in. I think it just looks nice compared to a fully square tray. The first thing I'm gonna do is get my 1850 back one and I'm gonna cut them out, lay them on the ground, and then once they laid out and they look like sort of a tray, I'll tack them together, make sure they're all square. One of the nicest way to make it look good is to cut this on a 45 and then cut the back rails, the side rails on a 45 as well. So when they butt together, they're both perfectly 90 and you don't have like an open cap here and an open cap there. They get welded fully shut together, so you might have cut them. So this drop saw actually adjusts. You can cut on an angle, you can cut on 45. So I'm gonna straight cut it on that 45. Both sides are gonna get 45, and then I'll show you how I do it when I lay it all out. That didn't work how I wanted it. It's a bit of a stitch up. I wasn't quite watching. It came loose, obviously. It didn't cut on exactly a 45. I don't think. It didn't cut on the 45 that I marked anyway, so it definitely didn't. I'll get rid of this. I might just do it with a grinder. Two sections done, I need to do another one. I've done these ones to 2 meters because if I want to bevel the back, I can trim them down, but if I do them too short and then I don't like it, I can't make them longer again, so. Try and get them square. That's pretty damn square just there. All right, so I've chamfered all the edges. I've got a builder's square in here. It's square for now. Right, that's still pretty damn close to square. Now I'm gonna move over to that corner, get that corner square, and then tack that one. Had the wrong safety protection on. All right, so next thing I gotta do, make a cross section, 2 of them. I'll get the tape measure, I'll measure between here and here. Technically, it should be. Now that I've got all the center braces cut out, they're all 1760, they're all identical. They should make this all exactly square, but I've got the builder's square again. Gonna hold it in. I did 2 meters divided by 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got a line where they all are on both sides. I'm gonna have them both tacked on at 500 mil, and then we're gonna move to put it up on the car. And I'm gonna try and figure out that back section, what angle I'd like to have it and whatever. Now that I've got this thing all tacked up, I'm gonna stand it up, flip it over so it's the right way. I've been talking to one of my mates, Corey. He's heaps better at fabricating than me, and he told me to draw it on the floor. So, Tyler, if you start seeing Sharpie marks on the floor, just deal with it, because that's the easiest way to do it apparently. You don't have a CNC machine for me in CAD, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna flip this over though so it's the right way, and I might even put it up there and have a look, see what it looks like. Sometimes you're better off dead. There's a gun in your hand that's pointing at your head. You think you're mad, too unstable, kicking it. To come out further, I think that's gonna be too long though. I reckon if I cut it somewhere here, come out, get the bit I want at the end of the chassis. I'm gonna ask a couple of mates, see what they think. As you can see, I've drawn the back of the tray, and then I've drawn what I wanted. I think this is right. Still sort of figuring it out. It's the first time I've ever done this, so it's sort of taking a minute to get through my head, but we're getting there. As you can see, I've bobbed this back corner. It was pretty hard for me anyway. Someone probably Laughing right now, saying that's the easiest job ever, but it is what it is. I'm gonna start tacking these together, probably weld them out. I've V'd out all the joints so that I can at least fill it with weld and it's not just weld sitting on top.
How much have you got? Have you got it to get? If so, how often? Which you choose, a hard or soft option?
Trays on the car, as you can see. I bobbed the back just a smidge. It's almost in line with, it's just past the back of that, which is good. I'm gonna make the tail lights come down, which is gonna be, you know, your hoop, and then another hoop, and another hoop. And then we're gonna have tube guards, which is gonna be mounted from the chassis, come out, 90 degree, go up, come over, back down, and then mount back into either the headboard or the chassis. So we'll figure that out when we get to it. But I'm gonna clean up for the day, and I'm gonna knock off. I'm bloody filthy. Right. Another day in the shed, working on the ute again. I'm gonna clean up all these with my fibre sanding disc and then the DA to get it all nice. And I can put sheet over this, won't fail on the welds. Now that I've got bulk of the welds down, I've got the DA, I've got my 120 grit discs. This is how you get it, looking nice and nice. This is the best way to get all the rounded edges perfectly smooth again. Because even with the fibre sanding disc, it's not round, it doesn't curve to this. This has a foam base that's pretty hard, but it doesn't take much off, and it manages to smooth everything out. I really only need to get the external outside corners looking good, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move on to the next two. Next step I wanna do is cut a cross tube for the headboard, so I can go just below where the tube is, where it's both flat. I'll cut a section, notch out each end, weld it in, so then I can put in a triangle brace, which will give me a bit of rigidity. Fun fact, triangles are the strongest shape, so if you can triangulate everything in. It's much stronger than just leaving it open. It's very flimsy as it sits right now. As you can see, I can move that a fair bit. That'll change when I weld that in, put a couple of triangles. More triangles, more better. Now that I have this cut out, let's see if it fits. Boom, it's snug. I've obviously got to do, I think that's gonna be pretty good. I've got this one just tacked in. I've just made another one. I'm finding it a little bit tricky to figure out how to make these with the, you know, angled notches and stuff, but boom. This little groove is center of the cab. This line here is center of the cab. So this comes down pretty much bang on. Center of the cab, it's in the same position as that one. And then I need to measure from here to here and get that one going down in the same spot. Now I gotta climb all the way out of here just to turn you off. And to get a tape measure. Let's cut out another section. Boom, just like that. Boom, so that's that tacked in, both of them tacked in. I might put a couple of sturdier welds and then I'll move on to the next job. Right, we're back from lunch, parts run, went and got metal. So now I'm gonna make a light board for the back with 40 MB tube. So I'm gonna start with making the center one. So I've only got two things I need to make sure of. One, that it looks good, and two, that my tail lights fit in the side ones. Hot today. 5150. It's not even 5150, it's 515. I always say the number's wrong and the boys are gonna call me out about it. I guarantee it, the boys are gonna call me out about it. All right, the easiest way to figure out what I need to do for this is to get a cheater bend. I know this is 32 NB, but it'll give me an idea of what I think looks good. I think that will look good once it's cut. I can just measure starter bend to here and then add a bit on. So then I'd rather have it long and sticking up past it, and then I can just mark it at the height that I want it, where it's level, where it's gonna make everything easy to fit. I'm gonna get bended. Now we'll pull this out. We'll take it over to the car, we'll have a look. I've got this on the same plane as much as I can with my marked line. I've got the line where I've marked it to bend it at 550 mil. And now I've zeroed the angle finder, put him on here. Now I'm gonna bend him to 60. God damn, I need 3 hands. Now I've got this on here, I can get a texter, run it on the bottom of this squared box section, and it'll tell me exactly where I need to cut that on what angle. That's tacked on. I think I like the look of it. Now I'm gonna make a couple of end ones that can fit tail lights. It's gonna fit in there, snug as a bug in a rug. I've switched to 32 NB. So we're doing 40 for the middle, and now I've liked the look of the tapered down. It's only 8 mil external diameter, not even that, it's like 6 mil. Keeps weight down for one, and I sort of like the look of it. It's like a bull bar. Mostly your bull bar has a main big hoop, and then the sides are littler hoops. This is the light we're using. Nice, angry, smoked Jimny tail light, believe it or not, that's what they are. They're off a Jimny, but they're LED, they got all the startup animations. It's a nice piece of light.
There's a madman around, running down underground to a dive bar in a western town. In a western town, a dead-end world with the east.
Gotta make sure these things stay fitting. It does, happy days. So, I've got this fitting. It's sort of parallel with this, and then I need to mark it here and give it a rough mark here. This is gonna be a hard notch because I sort of need to scallop the top. I don't know, I'll figure it out, but. I had it kicked up sharper before, so it was a bit of an angrier look, but I like the look of this flat. It's actually slightly kicked down towards the end, but I sort of like it. So that's all that really matters when it comes down to it, whether I like my tray or not. I got these tacked on. Now, I might make some tube guards. I still have to make a piece of metal that comes across here and mounts to the back of this. I might try and fold something. This GoPro's getting nearly flat, but new angle up on the hoist. Way up on the hoist, if you're wondering where it is, Tyler, it's up on the hoist, mate. Next job up, tube guards. Theme of the build, not actually sure how to do it, but I'm starting to get a rough idea. So I figured center of tyre, I want to mark that on my tray, so that's where I'm going to want the center of my guard. And then I've talked to a few people, and I think for a large 33, like what I'm using, you want about 400 mil in the top, and then you want a 45 down off that. And I might mark 200 mil each side of dead center, bend 45s on those, and then see where I want it to end up and bend the 90s for the kick back to the chassis. I don't know, we'll figure it out together. Let's crack into it. What do we have here? 2 bits of 40 MB. Got my file, we're gonna mark the center line profile. So, I've got a couple of tips off the boys. Mr. Kinsella, Mr. Kissler. Now I need to flip it. Need to get my mark to this side. We got 260s bent up. Now we just need to figure out where we want them. I'm thinking the back's gonna be lower and then the front's gonna be higher. just for, you know, that's the sort of look I'm after. I've got a cheater bend, so I can start a bend on this, hold it up. So this is what I've got so far. I think I'm gonna raise this up to in line with this outside of it, and I'll just use the mounts from here to here to get it further out. That way I can keep some more guard clearance and hide some more tyre poke. So to mount it, I've got 2 of these, 32 NB, notch for 40 NB. That's 40. See if I can get this on there now. So I put them on there to space this out. That's why I can't just clamp it and weld it, because I'm trying to cover the rear wheels. I think that's where I want it. I think it all looks good. It pretty much covers the wheel. Whew, hard work. Beep, bop, beep, 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 beep. So I broke the screen on the camera, so I can't tell what the lighting's doing, but I set it up before I'm here. Hopefully it's still good. Another day in the shed. I'm gonna bang some more jobs out on this tray. I wanna brace this over here, which will also make that a step for me to get up, because I'm a short ass. Back here to the corner, I want to put a brace here, join this in, make it stronger, but also, if anything gets jammed up in here, I won't get stuck on it because it'll just slide off. I know you're probably thinking, that's going to end up pretty heavy. It's not that heavy. Most of this stuff's light wall, medium wall. It's really not that much. I'd be surprised if this and the headboard weighs 100 kilos. I can pick that up by myself, not a drama. I can pick this up by myself, not a drama. I reckon the heaviest bit is when I sheet it. I did some calculations with, if I just do mild steel, 2mm plate, the plate itself is 60 kilos to sheet this area. I thought about doing alley. Alley's about half the density, so it'd only be 30 kilos. But I'm thinking I'll buy the steel first, it's cheaper, because I'm actually thinking that I'm gonna want the weight. I don't want the rear to be too light. I want it to be light overall, but I don't want the front to back bias to be off too much, so then whenever I'm wheeling, going down hills or whatever, it just constantly wants to tip and feels really light in the back. We don't want that, we want a nice balanced platform. I also need to make a battery tray, which I'm gonna do from my headboard brace over to the tray mount with some 40 NB. I'm gonna bend it big enough that 1 or 2 batteries fit in, and then make a base for it, and then put some RHS in so they can't move, and then a clamp that'll go over the top of both or one and clamp down. Because that's where I've got no battery in the engine bay. I need to put it back here. And I want it nice, low, in the middle of the car. So first one I'm gonna do, this rear section here, I'm gonna cut it to, I'm gonna get a measure like that. I'm gonna cut it to 45. It'll leave it a little bit long, and then I can notch out both of these so that it fits perfect. I can get a nice weld around it. See if this fits. I sort of just eyeballed the last cut. Maybe I'll change the angle that I notch it. I'll come over to like that's 60, so a 30, imagine maybe. I'm gonna take a bit more out of it, see what it looks. I've got plenty of this pipe now, so I can make a few of these if I do it too short. All right, so I've measured from here to here, gone and cut one, give it a couple notches, a bit of an estimation. I've decided to go angle up, looks better. Who cares about the step? That just needs to look good, doesn't have to be useful. Get an overall look at it. Oh, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. It looks good to me. Dang, would you look at that? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I know. Now that I'm happy with where they are, time to hit them with some welds, get them stuck on. Oh, I like to let it go. Hey. Hey, oh yeah, save my soul. Now that it's welded out, I need to make a battery tray. I want it to be down here. I'm probably gonna go off this cross tube for the headboard. I've got a bit of scrap that I had out there. I bring my battery inside. You can fit 2 of my batteries in here, which is just like your normal N70 starting battery. So, notch, notch. I'm gonna go down there, make sure it's the right angle to the car, tack this on, And then I'm pretty sure I've got some angle. I'm gonna grab some of that and I'll put that the width of the battery so the battery can sit on that. I'll weld that to it and then I'll have to make some sort of tie down clamp and we're gonna be good. The only other thing I'll have to do is make a brace from here to here, which I'll get a piece of tube and I'll do that right now. Get it out of here. It ain't going anywhere.
With the battery tray made, the ute tray was really starting to take shape now.
Another day back in the shed. We're going to continue on with the tray. Next job up is put sliders on the car so I can fabricate tray sliders to tray mounts and brush bars to bull bar. Got my bag of bolts, marked them GQ sliders, you know, can't mess it up. I need to cut these old brush bar bits off the bull bar. I'm reusing the bull bar. I'm going to make new brush bars. These ones are already half cut off. I'm going to cut them off, clean it right up, get the bar mounted, and then we'll move on to making brush bars. Next thing I'm going to do is coat this in weld true primer, because you know somewhere in this same vicinity I'm going to weld new brush bars on, and I don't want under where I weld it to go rusty. Now that I've got the bar on and mounted, we're going to make a scrub bar from front to slider, and then we're going to need to be able to make these unbolt from each other. So Mardo, my mate, he sells these, so these get machined locally in Taree. If you are going to do any bar work, get yourself one. I might bend that first one a couple more degrees to get it kicked out wider, so I protect the whole flare the whole time. So now that I've got it semi-close, I still can adjust this up and down, which will bring it higher and lower on my guard. But it's pretty hard to hold by myself, so I'm going to put a notch a little bit short, then I'll be at least able to hold it, get the angle finder, find the correct level that I want it to follow the guards, and then I'll get this one cut down, and then I'll get that one cut down. Got it tack, 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 tack. But I also want to put a piece from here to here, like I had on my old one. It gives it a bit more strength, and I think it just looks good. Oh, so I've just got this little brace in. Now I've got to sort of weld it all out. I think I'm happy with that. This thing's getting painted anyway, so I put this on just to save any more bodywork burning in and burning my indicators and headlights. I didn't do that last time, so I learnt my lesson. Now we're going to hit some welds on it. As you can see, I've got a little slider to tray joiner. I was almost not going to worry about it because it's so close, but then I also thought, I had a bit of a chat with Tyler and said, what do you reckon? And he said the only other thing that's really benefit is this is like a fourth mount to stop this coming up. So when I hit these really hard, it's not going to bend up into the door. So I figured I'd do it for the rigidity, and so that if there's for ever a reason there's a perfect log that I get stuck on right here, I'll slide straight across it. I did forget to record making them, but you get that. You do get that on the big jobs. Another job I need to do is cut these flares and my guards to fit these 31s. Everyone knows that they scrub, even with 35, so when I go to put them on, I don't want it clear. I want it cleared. Grinder, I've got a tape mark. It's getting painted anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, we are going to finish up that episode there. Make sure to tune in next week as Berto finishes off the tray.
Now I've got that all trimmed out. When I get around to it, I can weld in a little plate along the edge that inner guard pulls back onto and does up. So all the door hinges and everything don't get covered in mud and break like everyone else's. And then you have shitty creaky doors.
Holy
Shit.